is it possible for a parent to be raising a spoiled child? That's the question we're asking this morning, without actually being aware of it. Zephyr is here to point out some of the signs that may indicate that a child is being spoiled. Now, she is a certified parenting coach, and she's joining us this Tuesday morning. Good to see you, Zephyr. I'm loving the dress.
Thank you.
Very nice. Now,
good morning, by the way.
Yes. Spoiled children. How do I identify a spoiled child? Or is there anything? Is there anything that, you know, is there such a thing as a spoiled child?
So first of all, you know that. I'm sure you already know that I'm against that word, even before we begin.
You're all for the children. You are a child's advocate.
No. I'm for the children. I'm for the parents.
Yeah.
And I'm for the parents especially because when we know better, we do better.
Exactly.
I think that every parent has the best interest of their child in mind. And a lot of times we come towards issues with our children based on beliefs we have, that we've had. A lot of things we've not checked. For example, when you hear people say spoiled child, a lot of times I ask, what do you mean spoiled? A lot of times when we see children putting up certain behaviors, because the behaviors are inappropriate.
I think one of the things that people say is when you have a parent or parents that give the child everything they want and allow the child have their way all the time.
Yes.
That, okay, you tell the child, go to bed. The child says, I want to watch 1 more hour of TV.
And you leave the child.
Let the child do it. And then the child says, I want a toy, you buy the toy. The child says this,
yes.
that. You know, so just allowing the child have their way 100% of the time.
That creates a spoiled child.
Exactly.
So in that context, I hear what you're saying, Yomi, but this is the point I'm trying to raise. When we use certain phrases or describe certain things, it helps us not to solve the problem.
Right.
So when what you just described, for example, is a perfect example of children developing what we call beliefs behind behaviors. So maybe I start this way. Every behavior, the one that seems like a spoiled child or a great child, is underneath every behavior is a goal. We say behavior is goal-driven. So when I look at my child and my child is throwing the tantrum, my child is demanding for things because I keep providing, and I'm seeing a behavior, I can say that, oh, this child is spoiled and label, I'm against label, and say, spoiled child, that finishes it. Or I can sit to say, what is this child trying to achieve by this behavior? Right. Because every single behavior, whether a human being or a child, is goal-driven. There is a goal. The child wants to achieve something. But we know that for every goal, beliefs drive this goal. So here is what I mean. I take the example you just gave. You're a parent. You always, always allow your child to have his or her way. Yeah. Right? And because you always allow, maybe you overgive attention to a child. When the child cries, you run, what's going on, what's going on? From when child's a baby, I want this, you're there, you're there, you're there. What you've done over time is you create either inadequacy in the child. So the child now has what we call assumed inadequacy.
And over-relying on you for everything.
And assumed inadequacy is a goal for that child. The child feels, on my own, I cannot help myself. I need you to help me.
Yeah, but in a situation where we have this, so let's take out the label of sport.
That is what I want us to do.
But what do we then replace you with? Because there has to be some kind of syndrome.
It's not a syndrome. It's not an illness. It's not a syndrome. It's not an illness. It's a behavior.
Okay, yeah. So what do we then describe it as?
It's a behavior. So there are 4. So I'll explain it this way. There are 4 behaviors that children will put up. 1. And they're not appropriate in themselves. 1, assumed inadequacy, which I mentioned. 1, misguided power. So a child keeps seeking power and is extremely controlling, aggressive, angry. There are children that put up that. So you say this child is spoiled. They talk back at you.
Exactly. That's
so you have a child say, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
Which is why an African parent will immediately
say it's spoiled.
Slap the child.
But the reason why
smack the child.
The reason why addressing it as sport becomes a challenge is you're no more focusing on the solution. You're labeling. But when you see that, that is more a message for you that this child is being, and a lot of times children who control are children who are controlled.
Yeah, yes and no.
To a large extent, I'll explain what I mean. When I've talked about this on the show several times, that every human being, one of the strongest form of motivation is choice, control. When children are given some form of control, choice, they rarely control. This is what I mean. You tell your child what to do all the time. Will you go pick that plate? Will you go do this? They're not animals, they're humans, right? At the end of the day, they start to resist, start to rebel, and they want to say, I too can be boss. So this is the belief. I am accepted, loved when I am in control, right? I want to be boss. I matter because guess what? The moment your child begins to exhibit that controlling, aggressive behavior, what do? You give them attention.
Exactly.
Focus turns to, why are you doing this? You should stop. They are now the center of attention. And they want it. They love it.
So the child likes that. So what
Yes.
you then do is try to give the child some space, let them have a degree of...
At that time, so first of all, now this is a long conversation, but at that time, the worst thing you can do is to enter into a power tussle with your child, which is what we do. We fight.
Exactly. Then you beat the child to submission.
And when you fight, you're feeding the attention that the child is seeking at that time. The child is feeling, I was the boss here, I got you. That's why you're fighting. So one of the easy ways to diffuse that is do not enter into battle at that time.
So ignore the child?
Ignore that situation. Now, you're not, a lot of times people say, I can't let you get away with this. No, you can't get away with this. You're not solving any
That
problem.
happens a lot with my daughter and my wife.
And
yeah.
has it solved it?
No, it hasn't.
It doesn't. So the thing is, when you're using a method and it's not solving it, you know it's not working. So what do we do in that instance? Address the root cause. The root cause is control. And control necessarily is not saying do whatever you want. Control is giving that child a little power, right?
Wow. Amazing. I mean, I don't think this discussion has ended.
We just touched
because
it.
a lot of people they have questions in their minds right now and they want to ask you, even in this place. And probably, hopefully, we can have this discussion and continue it next week.
Hopefully.
All right.